Probably one of the characteristics that make the difference between an app and a website is the ability of the first to generate engagement. If you have considered having an app, it is probably because you have thought that it will give you a greater presence in the market, or that it will make your brand look more adapted to new technologies. And these are certainly some of the qualities that an application will bring. But what really makes the difference is, without doubt, the possibility of becoming an element of the regular interaction with the user, because the website is visited with the aim of satisfying a specific doubt, but an app is installed with the intention of making more repeated use of it, constantly accessing the contents or functionalities it has. If a website is always open to the user to visit and remains waiting to be needed, the app, with its function based on engagement, will have to promote its use through the means at its disposal. Push notifications are probably the technology that best resolves this need. Push notifications are messages sent directly from the application to the user, a kind of warning that the app launches when it deems it necessary to inform you of something. You're probably very familiar with this. WhatsApp sends you a push every time someone writes to you, your email app every time you're written to, or Twitter and Instagram when someone mentions you or likes one of your publications. As a common point, a push is inviting you to reopen the application. Virtually any application needs the ability to send notifications, and you, with yours, will want to implement that functionality. In this module, we will learn how to install the push notification service and send them massively to the set of users, although you will have a specific course on creating engagement through applications in our academy. First of all, you should know that the push notification systems works through the Google Firebase tool. In order to be able to link your app with the messaging service that we have integrated, you will have to have a Google account registered in Firebase. Let's start by creating our account in Firebase. First thing will be then, of course, to access this platform. Go to Google and search for Firebase, or directly type firebase.google.com. Once inside, click on Start. You probably already have a Google account. You can use the one you already have or create a new one to manage your apps. Log in and sign in. In this window, we'll click on Add Project, which we'll call in the same way as our application. I will call it Wild Animals. Accept conditions and click on Create Project. We will see a loading window, and after this, we press Continue to access the specific control panel of our app in Firebase. The first thing we will do here is add our app in Firebase. For Google, your Android app and your iOS app are two different applications, so the process will be slightly different. Let's start by adding the Android app in Firebase. To do this, click on the Android icon that you will find in the center of the screen. Here, we must register the application with the name of the Android package that we will have to take from the builder. We go there, to the General Panel window, and copy and paste this title that, as you can see, has a structure similar to the code they ask us in Firebase. Click on Register Application. Here, we just click on Download Google Services.json and leave it stored in an accessible place, as we will need it soon. We click Next, and skip this step. Our Android app is already registered in Firebase. Now, we'll have to go back to the builder to attach some documentation linking both platforms. Let's go to Services and Add Services, where we'll look for push notifications. We'll click on Use and leave it there because then we'll have to fill in some fields again. In the main window of our builder, click on Push, and the first thing that will appear will be the option to add new application. Let's press Direct Opt-in. In this window, we will add the name of our app, and here below in Android, we enable the platform status. See, to get the API key, we go to Firebase. Inside our application, in the dented wheel of configuration, here above to the left, we click on Configuration on the project and Messaging in the Cloud. We take Sender ID by clicking on the little square that we'll copy onto our clipboard, or directly select this text and click on Copy with the right button of our mouse. We go back to the window where we were and paste in API key. Click on Save. From this new window, we will need the access token. We copy it and go back to our app in the Builder, Services and Configuration section of the Push Notification module. In access token, we will paste the last fragment we have copied. In Google services.json, we will have to paste the content of the document with the same name that we have downloaded before in Firebase. We'll look for it and open it with the text processor, for example. We copy everything and paste it into this box. This other box to fill will be the one corresponding to the configuration of your app in iOS, which we will see below how it is activated. We still don't have the content to fill this field, but as you can see, it is mandatory. As we don't have anything to paste, let's put any letter and then edit it again. Up to this point, we had already configured all the necessary fields to be able to launch push notifications in Android. We'll have to compile it and access Firebase, our platform, to be able to start making shipments. Now let's configure our app in iOS. The process is similar, except that we'll have to go through the Apple developer platform to get a certificate and some codes. For its configuration, we will go back to Firebase, to the general panel of our application. We can click on Project Overview. Here, click on Add Application in iOS. To register our application in Firebase, we will do the same as before. The ID of the iOS package will be taken from the Builder, General panel, and copy this piece of text to paste here. In the next step, we download the Google Service info.plist, whose content we will have to pay later in the configuration of the module. We press Next as many times as necessary, and at the end, skip this step. Again, gear up here to the left and click on Project Configuration to access messaging in the cloud. Download here the application configuration for iOS. You will find this field that proposes us to upload our APN authentication keys. In order to complete it, we will need to obtain a certificate from our Apple developer account. To do this, we will have to access developer.apple.com with our developer profile, preferably the one we will use to upload our app to the store. Click on Certificates, Identifiers and Profiles, and in the new window that opens, go to Keys, All. In order to create our push notification certificate, click on this More button. We enter a name that is easy for us to identify for the push key certificate. I'll call it the Wild Animal Push Certificate. Note that the number of certificates per account you can have is limited. Enable Apple Push Notification Service and click Continue. Confirm in the next screen and download the P8 file that will be the one that we will have to upload in Firebase. It is important not to close the window now. Let's go back to Firebase and here, in Messaging in the Cloud, Configuration of the application for iOS, click on Upload. Here in Browse, we'll attach the file we've been downloaded from Developers Apple. Now, to include the key ID, we'll go back there and take this code, the key ID, which we'll paste into this field. We go back to Developer Apple to click here and our username and view account. Here, we'll copy the team ID to paste it into the team ID, and we go up. The app will already be configured to be able to send push notifications from Firebase. Now we will access the Builder again to finish the configuration of our app there. Let's go to Services and Configuration of the Push Notification Service. As you will remember, before we left without completing the complete service info.plist field because we downloaded it later from Developer Apple. It's time to open it, again with a notepad, and copy its content to paste it into this block. We save and go to Push. Unlike before with Android, where we had to add our app from scratch, now we have it, and what we will have to do is edit it to configure iOS. Let's go to Applications, Manage Applications, and see Wild Animals. Click on Edit. We do some scrolling on the screen and press the iOS button. You will see that the data to complete are similar to what we had to load in Firebase when we configured Apple. Activate Platform Status and leave Sandbox Mode deactivated. We'll reload the Google Service Info P8 file again. Introduce the same codes as Firebase in these fields. Finally, click on Save Changes. So far, we have seen how our app is configured in the different platforms that connect to each other to leave it ready and be able to send push notifications. It will be necessary to request the compilation and publication in the case of iOS to see them working. In the next chapter, we will see how to make a simple campaign to launch push notifications to all users of our app.